If you were asked, what is the meaning of democracy? How would you respond? Some might say democracy is freedom, while others might define it as unity. Many would likely agree that democracy means rule by the majority. In fact, the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle described democracy this way in his book Politics, written over 2,000 years ago. Democracy has deep roots in Greek philosophy, which emphasizes the ideal of the one or the good, as well as the core principles that support this unity. These ideals help shape the foundations of democratic thought, linking governance to the pursuit of higher principles and collective harmony. Although democracy plays a central role in our daily lives, it can often feel like an abstract or distant concept. In reality, democracy is much more than just a system of governance. It's a way of life that influences how we interact with one another, how decisions are made, and how power and wealth are shared within a society. In order for democracy to flourish, there are key principles that must be present. To better understand our system of governance, we must learn to identify the signs of democracy. E pluribus unum and shared identity. Democracy is e pluribus unum, or out of many one, and the core idea behind our national motto is unity. Democracy is based on the idea of a community working together for mutual benefit. At the heart of this concept is the idea of a shared or mutual identity. This mutual identity means that every individual in the community identifies as a citizen or constituent. However, this does not imply that we should disregard our personal backgrounds. In a democracy, individuals within the community share a common identity while still retaining their unique beliefs and philosophies. For example, Americans possess diverse identities, shaped by a variety of factors. Two important categories to consider are private and public identities. Our public or social identity can be seen as how we work and play with others. Our private lives are based around our faiths and beliefs, as well as other aspects of our background. Both our public and private lives deserve respect in a democracy. In addition to respecting our own multifaceted identities, we must also show respect for one another as fellow citizens. In a democratic society, the individual is the fundamental building block of the community. Therefore, the various groups that form within the society must reflect this central importance of the individual. A democratic society prioritizes the rights and equality of all individuals. This means that the nation, along with its various groups and institutions, should exist to serve and benefit every individual equally. A nation becomes undemocratic when the rights and needs of the individual are subordinated to the interests of powerful groups and institutions. The purpose of our discussion on democracy is to define and explore how its core principles work together. The four basic democratic principles we will discuss are as follows: shared respect, shared power, economic balance, and enlightenment. These four tenets, which together form democratic behavior, can be understood and defined independently, but they also relate with one another, ultimately forming a unity of meaning. First, let's examine the concept of mutual or shared respect, after which we will explore other fundamental signs of democracy. Shared respect. At the heart of democracy lies the belief in the equal worth and dignity of every individual. Shared respect goes beyond merely tolerating differences. It means valuing them and recognizing that diversity enriches society. When we embrace each other's unique perspectives and experiences, we create a more vibrant and resilient democracy. Through mutual respect and open dialogue, we become more informed, empathetic, and united as a people. One of the most vital aspects of shared respect in a democracy is the understanding that our individual rights are no more or less important than anyone else's. Equality is a core democratic principle, and it is upheld through the respect we show one another. Every citizen, regardless of race, religion, gender, or social status, deserves equal access to opportunities, education, and resources. This respect ensures fairness and helps prevent any individual from being marginalized or left behind. Moreover, shared respect is essential to the protection of civil rights. Our liberties, such as freedom of speech, peaceful assembly, and the right to participate in government, are safeguarded by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. These rights are not only fundamental for each individual, but they are also crucial for the proper functioning of a democratic society. When we respect one another's freedoms, we help preserve liberty itself. Democracy demands that all individuals are treated equally under the law. No one should enjoy privileges that others do not. Access to education, economic opportunity, and participation in civic life are not special benefits, they are basic civil liberties. When we uphold these rights for others, we protect them for ourselves as well. This cycle of mutual respect strengthens both individuals and society as a whole. By honoring each other's rights and perspectives, we empower people and build a more cohesive, just, and free society. In this way, shared respect is not just a moral virtue, it is the cornerstone of democracy itself. When we learn to share respect, we also learn to share power, ensuring a more inclusive and equitable future for all. Shared power. When citizens respect one another, they are more likely to engage in meaningful discussions and make decisions or vote about actions that must be taken. This collaboration ultimately leads to decisions that benefit the greater good. Shared power, therefore, is an important aspect of democratic governance. One of the most effective ways to understand shared power in a democracy is through voting. Voting is the means by which citizens actively participate in decisions about laws and policies that impact their lives. The essence of shared power can be broken down as follows: discussing, deciding, and doing. In a democracy, voters engage in discussions about the issues at hand, encouraging input from all parties. Thus, open discussions help to foster sound decision-making and voting. When citizens cast their votes, they are making decisions that affect society. The collective vote ensures that decisions are shared democratically. When citizens vote, they are choosing how to take collective action by enacting laws that affect everyone. A key benefit of shared power is that it encourages citizen participation. A democracy where power is shared ensures that all segments of society have a voice in governance. This fosters a sense of ownership in the democratic process, encouraging active involvement and ensuring that diverse perspectives are considered. As well, shared power promotes equity. By balancing the influence of various social, economic, and political groups, a system of shared power prevents the domination of powerful groups over marginalized communities. This balance helps ensure that all voices are heard and that decision-making remains fair and just. Shared power in a democracy ensures that citizens have the freedom to vote in fair elections, express their opinions, and make decisions that directly affect their lives. When a community is built on mutual respect, it becomes capable of exercising shared power, leading to a more stable and equitable economy. For groups or individuals, shared power leads to better economic opportunity and a better economic balance or distribution. Economic balance. Economic balance or distribution is also imperative to a strong democracy. This refers to the idea that wealth should be spread across a broad middle class. When each household is financially stable, the likelihood of autocracy diminishes. When individuals and families are economically independent, the nation as a whole becomes more independent. For democracy to survive, the gap between the rich and the poor must remain proportional. If wealth is concentrated in the hands of a few, it can lead to political inequality. Wealthy individuals or corporations may have disproportionate influence over policy, elections, and public discourse, which undermines the concept of one person, one vote. A more balanced economic distribution promotes social cohesion, reduces tensions, and fosters a sense of shared responsibility for the well-being of the nation. A more equitable economic distribution allows individuals from various backgrounds to access opportunities for work, entrepreneurship, and upward mobility. Without economic balance, democracy risks becoming skewed toward the interests of the few, diminishing the effectiveness of democratic governance for the majority. When all citizens have the opportunity to participate in the economy and accumulate wealth, they gain the freedom to engage more fully in political action. Economic balance often translates to better access to education, enabling individuals to become more informed and engaged as citizens. A well-educated populace is more likely to participate in democratic processes, such as voting and civic discussions. Citizens who have access to good information can more effectively influence government outcomes in an informed and enlightened manner. Enlightenment. In a democracy, citizens are entrusted with the power to make informed decisions, through voting, public discourse, and holding leaders accountable. This system depends on an educated and engaged populace. Enlightened citizens understand that access to accurate information is essential for recognizing their rights and responsibilities, resisting misinformation, and promoting accountability. Education is not just a path to personal growth but a foundation for collective action. Informed individuals are more likely to engage in meaningful debate, bridging divides and fostering mutual understanding. Enlightenment promotes tolerance, critical thinking, and a commitment to justice, all vital for safeguarding liberty and resisting authoritarianism. Thinkers like Rousseau emphasized the social contract, where governance is based on the consent of informed citizens. Ancient philosophers like Plato believed democracy aimed to preserve unity, guided by philosophical forms, concepts such as the one and the many, or the greater and the lesser, that help frame societal issues. Ultimately, democracy thrives when power serves the many, not just the few. When elites prioritize self-interest, the system falters. Enlightenment, in this context, means recognizing our shared fate and the need for policies rooted in equality, justice, and the common good. In conclusion, as previously mentioned, democracy emerges when key principles align, fostering an environment where democratic behavior can thrive. A shared identity, driven by mutual benefit, unites individuals, enabling respectful dialogue. This collaborative approach helps identify actions that benefit all. A community built on mutual respect teaches citizens to share power, empowering individuals to contribute to economic growth. As people benefit from this shared wealth, they can use their knowledge to further develop and enrich society. Enlightenment, therefore, must be nurtured by our institutions of higher learning, as well as by organizations that claim to exist for the public good. These institutions must live up to their mission statements and provide quality information that empowers individuals to improve themselves, both in the public sphere and in their private lives. When all members of a community govern themselves through shared power, you call that democracy. When every citizen enjoys equal opportunities to acquire skills and apply them within the economy, you call that democratic behavior. Democracy is shared identity, shared respect, shared power, economic balance, and enlightenment. These are the signs of democracy, and that's what democracy looks like.